being ugly, having bad teeth, and having glasses, and being black in a predominantly white neighborhood, like, pick a freaking struggle. The more that we confidently exist as ourselves in the way that we naturally look, the more other people do the same, and the more you just have space to be yourself and space to feel beautiful, you know? Hello everyone. Okay, I really hope you can see me because I'm not trying to get close, and I'm just trying to be as far away as possible because welcome back to my channel. Why am I doing this? Welcome back to my channel. So yeah, to address the elephant in the room, I didn't upload last week. There's no way to really explain it other than your girl's going through it a little bit. You know, it's one of those phases which happens like every couple of weeks. That's why I didn't upload. I am trying to get it together. We'll see how it works. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about growing up ugly. Wow, this is sad. It's gonna be sad. So this is just one of the things that I wanted to talk about because I had to sit down, I don't know what the word is, recalibrate basically my thoughts on my friends and people that I see on social media and things, because I had started to see myself again through the male gaze and like comparing myself to other people that I'm friends with, and it just got me down. I haven't done that in a while, since like high school. I had to sit down and just recalibrate my brain, and because I haven't addressed that aspect of me in a while, I thought I would make a video about it because all the past emotions were coming up, all the shit that little me used to think about was coming up. So basically I want to talk about growing up ugly, okay? So you know me now as me right now, looking like this. You know, we don't call ourselves ugly in today's day and age because we love ourselves, okay? And I don't need to put that negativity out into the universe, but I look different to the way I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I was rocking around with some busted up teeth, which I need to get together because if I don't wear my retainer, they're gonna be busted up again. But anyway, being in the awkward phase and being raised in a predominantly white neighborhood means you, even if you thought you were ugly, you were uglier than you were thinking. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a very different environment being a minority like that. Like, for example, in my primary school class, I was one of 2 black girls, which was fine, usually. But of course, when it comes to things like desirability, it's different when you are a black woman. There was even a survey. You can literally hear me talking there. Every single video. Anyway, if you haven't heard about it, there was this like survey that was actually made, and it was talking about the desirability of people in each race, and for men it was Asian men are the least desirable, and for women it was black women are the least desirable. That was painful. That was painful. That was painful because it's difficult. Even in the black community, black women they're just not treated well. They're just not, you know, black women deserve better in just like every aspect of life. So imagine black men are going around saying how they don't even want to date black women because they're not about that life, or they want to date light-skinned women or white women. But then you have black women, okay? You have black men that aren't even trying to want to date you, and you are in a predominantly white neighborhood, baby. It's a struggle. I think that the main thing for me that you notice when you grow up ugly, or you just are an ugly person at the time, and of course beauty, we already know beauty is subjective and stuff like that, but that's how I felt, okay? That's how I felt, okay? And as a person who at the time identified as, you know, an ugly kid, you notice the difference in the way that people treat you. I had this like super pretty best friend, and it was that kind of dynamic where you have the really pretty best friend, and then you have me, this like little ugly duckling who just wasn't quite suited to her features and everything yet. So I would notice, of course, because it was just me and her, how the treatment would be different. I think the difference in the way that I was treated in comparison to her did make me feel a type of way when I was younger. Not even in the romantic way, but it's like she was allowed to hold space in a way that I was ignored, if that makes sense. And I remember there was a time when we were walking on the street, probably walking to my house, and my friend was like, okay, walk ahead of me. I was like, why? Okay. And then her crush was apparently across the street. So it was like, damn, you couldn't even be seen with me. You were like, you need to be ahead of me. I don't even want to be in your presence. I really, to this day, don't even know what her, like, thought process with that was, but how it translated to me was like, wow, you're so like ugly and unpopular. I don't really want to be seen with you while my crush is there, type thing. Which makes no sense to me, because me being a particularly unattractive person, or like not being super popular or whatever, don't know how that affects your prospects, because it doesn't. Surely the guy would be like, yeah, I got the best one out of the group. Even though people want to say like personality is most important, being pretty and like pretty privilege is such a big and well-known like currency in our world. People will be more inclined to listen to anything a pretty person says in a way that just wouldn't happen to someone that isn't as attractive, which I think is interesting. And this isn't to say that I am like above that, because it's not true. Honestly, on TikTok, I will be like more times likely to watch someone's like, I don't know, whether it's like not one of their comedy videos, one of the things where it's like a dance challenge or like just a challenge in general, where they do the little glow up thing, if they are like super attractive, because I'm like, wow, like my eyes are just, you know, they're looking respectfully, but they're looking. So I think it's just human nature sometimes. But as the person that is direct opposite of what you would call the object of affection, it is painful. It was painful. This video is so gonna be all over the place, but I already set you guys up for that when I started saying things about tête-à-tête Tuesdays. But anyway, as a kid, you're literally never, at least for me anyway, I was never thinking philosophically about where I get my sense of self-worth from. I don't even think self-worth was like a thing that I was thinking about, but it was either I get good grades or I was super like pretty. Like that was the things that I was like, yeah, if that is me, then I'm like worthy. I never was the latter. I was never the pretty one, but occasionally I was getting good grades, so like that's where I pulled my self-worth from. And then I got to secondary school and I never really had to deal with the whole male gaze type of thing, because I wasn't in a group of friends that really socialized with people that much out of school, so I was never meeting their like mutual guy friends. And I genuinely retained 2 friends from primary school, so I didn't hang out with any of the guy friends from primary school. And even then, I don't think we were really friends. We were just classmates. Do you know what I mean? We didn't really, I don't remember really connecting to any of them that much. I'm just gonna interrupt my girl because, you know, she was doing really well. But I did have to deal with the male gaze. But what I mean is it was never a case of, you know, me actually talking face to face with a guy and having to question my worth, my looks, what I brought to the table, because I was never put in that position. So it would be like I would have crushes on people, you know, and be like, oh damn, they don't like me every time. But it would never be a case of having to address that directly with a male, you know, who's giving the male gaze technically. And so I grew up, I feel like I glowed up, I got better teeth, I looked prettier, but I just packaged all that knowledge of myself being ugly into a box and just ignored it. And then now, as an adult, I never had to deal with the way that I would feel unworthy or inadequate when it came to just men in general, anytime I would meet or connect with men. So now I am an adult, but I'm still in that like mentality I was when I was like a little kid. So no matter how my face might change, my brain is still like, you're just not on that level of cuteness. And anytime, because the friends that I'm friends with, okay, all my friends are they're just very pretty people, in my opinion. Oh, my best friend, she's very pretty, okay? But usually I'm not thinking about comparing us two. But then the other day I was like, damn, like she's so pretty, and I am actually that person again. You know, that person who has the guys come up to them to be like, oh, can I have your friend's number? Or like, who's your friend? And I'm like, that's actually me. That was me when I was younger, and it's me now. And it's like, wow. But it's funny because my brain I've never had that be proved correct. But in my brain was like, yeah, that's me. I've grown up to be the same exact person, in the same position where I'm just not on that level of cuteness. And it's really, really annoying because I'm trying to move my self-worth away from what I look like. Usually it's fine, but it's always when men come into it. Because I've healed the way that I look at myself, and I've healed my image. In the sense that I can look in the mirror, I will never tell myself, oh, you look ugly. Occasionally. But most of the time I won't. But when men come into the equation, it's all of a sudden putting your self-worth and your idea of yourself into their hands, which I need to change. But that is why I can then feel unworthy or just trash in comparison to other women. But usually I just don't care. I think that I've genuinely just packaged it into a box and hidden it somewhere. And so now if you don't find me attractive, I don't really care. It does, like, I just don't give two fucks if you don't find me attractive. But you will never catch me. You will never catch me unless I'm 100% sure that the other person likes me. Shoot my shot. I will not. Because again, like I said, I still have the brain of like younger me and the rejection and just the way I felt so undesirable. I just will not be that person. I can't be that person. Like, I would rather obsess over my K-pop boys, you know, make guy friends and just never address romance in general than be rejected. Like, if I was rejected like that, I would simply just cease to exist, because I have such a bad fear of rejection. Wow. Like, this is like actually therapy for me. Like, I already have therapy, but therapy in the UK, I realized, unless you go like to a private place, maybe it's more like CBT. Okay, so they just talk to you about ways to deal with the symptoms, but they don't ever go to the source. And now I'm just sitting here like, wow, there's so much unhealed like trauma from childhood that is really affecting the way that I see myself or the way that I present myself to others. Because I've noticed this as well, whenever it comes to me meeting any boys, whether it's like from a friendship perspective or not, I automatically assume that there is no way that they would like me. I genuinely don't think anyone's ever had a crush on me. So one of the side effects of growing up ugly is that I just can't tell now if a person does like me or if they don't. And if they do, I just assume that they're lying, or maybe it's because I was wearing makeup that day. Even though when I wear makeup, it's literally concealer and like some mascara. Like, it's not changing my face that much, but in my head I'm like, yeah, that concealer, it changed me, it made me look way better. And then if I would take it off, they would be like, yeah, she's the same, you know, ugly person that she was as a kid. Which is, wow, we're really getting into therapy right now. The thing that I've realized is that attractiveness is relative. I know this even just in the people that I like have crushes on, because I remember like all through high school, whenever I would have crushes on people, which were never people I knew in real life or just real life people, because again, I went to an all-girls school and I didn't socialize with anyone outside of my school. I couldn't even if I wanted to, because I had super strict parents growing up, so I didn't even socialize with my friends outside of school, so never mind like new people. So, which now that I'm thinking about it, really did not help my social anxiety. But anyway, it's so relative that when I was crushing on someone, I would be like, wow, they are so fine, they are so fine. And then I would show them to my friend and they'd be like, ew, like what were you thinking when you thought this person was cute? So it's like, you just know that it's relative, and everyone's opinion or everyone's thoughts about who's attractive, it's just, you can't even rely on it. There isn't one clear-cut way to say who's attractive or who isn't. So you have to put your self-worth into other things. Even though I may have glowed up, my brain is still in the mentality that I am an ugly person, or I am the ugliest in the room. Damn. My thoughts of it is, at least I didn't peak in like high school or primary school like some of you people did, okay? Some of you did, okay? But me, I'm growing, I'm improving. I look better and better every day. And this is contrary to popular belief, but for me, the internet has done wonders for my confidence. Because, like I said, growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood, the only, you know, people that you had to look up to as people that are super pretty most of the time, because again, it was only me and like one other girl in my primary school, and me and one other girl, two other girls in my high school, in the year, that were black. So usually the objects of like super pretty people, objects of other people's affection, wear white. And you simply cannot compare yourself to a white woman. You cannot. You can't even compare yourself to another black woman. So imagine then comparing yourself to a white woman. It does not do well for your confidence. So once the internet came about and I was looking at queens like Miss Jackie Aina and like just a bunch of other beautiful and talented black women on the internet and like people that look like me, I was just like, girl, I'm actually cute. I think as well, if you start to look at yourself, and I think naturally just as human beings you kind of gauge how attractive you are based on like the other people around you, and when most of the people around you are white, it's very difficult to understand whether you're attractive or not, and you will automatically be seeing yourself as unattractive because they are the standard in a predominantly white neighborhood. And so having the internet as a source of seeing people that are like me, people who like, I don't know how to describe how important it was for me to see representation of myself. Even my Rwandan forehead on the internet, it made me so much more confident with my natural hair as well. Like without the internet, I'm thinking about it, and it would have taken so much more work to get out of that kind of self-hate that can kind of seep in, because you are surrounded by white people as the blueprint. You don't know how to just be yourself because it doesn't fit in anywhere. You can't see other people that look like you to know that, hey, I'm actually beautiful. I don't know why our brains work like that, but it seems like if it's possible on other people like you, then it's possible for you. I don't know why. I would say without the internet, I don't know where I would be in terms of confidence. I really think that depends on me as well, curating my timeline and the content that I see to be so much more enriched with just like people like me and just people of color in general, because it's not always white people, you know. And I think if your page is full of white people only, and I'm talking about just skinny blonde white girls, it's gonna be very difficult for you to see yourself as attractive, ma'am. Like you're looking at other people to be the blueprint, you know. So I feel like looking to your role models that look like you can help in terms of representation and seeing yourself as beautiful, you know. The more that we confidently exist as ourselves in the way that we naturally look, the more other people do the same, and the more you just have space to be yourself and space to feel beautiful, you know. I think either way, I think the thing to just know is it's just gonna be like difficult regardless. Like for me, if you can relate, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say living in a predominantly white neighborhood, but living in a predominantly white neighborhood, like my crush in primary school was this little boy with like blonde hair and blue eyes or something like that. Like it's very difficult, okay? Because it's like, you know, that guy with the blonde hair, the blue eyes, 9 times out of 10 is not gonna be looking at you, baby. And that's just, you know, being a black person, it's very difficult because it's like you have the male gaze, but then you have the white male gaze. Then you're just like, damn, I don't even fit in anywhere. There was another traumatic thing that happened to me when I went to my friend's church, okay? I was dressed up super nice. I had this cute dress on. I rocked up with my little cute shoes. I was like, yes, I am dressed so well. Wow, thriving, okay? I'm going to church like it's a fashion show. And then I just remember that I was literally getting roasted from the time that I got in there. We went into this little kids club thing. I was getting roasted for my glasses, and I was just like, okay, I see you. It's the way that I would exist and think, oh yeah, I'm looking great today, and then get knocked down a couple of pegs by men, as usual, men. It's like, I can't even remember those kids' names. I can't remember what those kids look like, but that stuck with me because I was like, wow, the humiliation that I felt. And I was like, I don't remember what year it was, but I was like, isn't this like 2000 whatever? Like, why are you still roasting people for their glasses? Like literally, oh, ghetto. That was another thing. Being ugly, having bad teeth, and having glasses, and being black in a predominantly white neighborhood. Like, pick a freaking struggle. Pick a struggle. It was difficult to say the least. The thing that I would say to somebody who's in their little awkward stage right now is, first of all, to just sit tight, because a lot of the time it's just an awkward phase. You will grow out of it and you will grow up to be even prettier than you are now. But I think the key thing is to rely on not your looks being your source of self-worth or confidence, because not only are your looks relative, but also over time they change, and like things like your looks will change with age. So if you rely on your looks being the thing that you are the most confident in, when you get to like 85, what are you going to be confident in? I think that you should find other things that you love about yourself, and I'm talking about like sit there, journal about the things that you think, you know, that you love about yourself and that you bring to the table, and think about that, and just have your self-worth, and you're just a human that exists on this planet, and I'm hoping you do well for others and things like that. Like, this is where you should see your worth, not like these inconsequential, I don't even think that's not the right word, just stuff that does not matter, like your appearance, how much you earn, blah 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 blah, things like that. Like I just feel like you should never put your self-worth in such unsteady foundation, such unsteady things. In terms of social media, curate your social media to have a lot more of people that look like you, because I think no matter where you live and what like your real life surrounding you looks like, if you can see beautiful people that look like you, you will then be able to see yourself as beautiful a lot more, you know? And once you begin to embrace your natural features that you were born with and that your ancestors were born with, and the fact that like every single part of your face and your body and everything is history in itself, like you and your face and the way that you look is history come to life. Like my face is my mom's face, my dad's face, their parents' faces, their parents' faces. Like it's so much more than just whether you are considered attractive to some people, you know? For me, the easiest thing is to be neutral about yourself. Like it started in terms of me just being neutral, being like, first of all, my face isn't where I get my worth, but also thinking in my head that there's just so much bigger things to think about. And even if in the beginning it takes yourself just distracting yourself from your face, do it, okay? Because I felt so insecure at some point, but then I found other things that I was passionate about, okay? And then I wasn't thinking so much about it. And then when you're not thinking so much about it, like, I don't know, I think it gives you space to grow in that sense. Can I also say, what people think about you is not any of your business. What people think about your appearance is none of your business. The only thing that you have to focus on is what you think about you. That's the only thing that matters, okay? That's what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know if this was enlightening for you or you could relate to this, but yes, I would like to say right now that I am a bad bitch now. And most of it comes from my confidence rather than my face. That's what I would like to say, because you can be so pretty, but if you don't even think that you are pretty, or that you don't even think that you are just worthy in general, worthy of taking up space, then you're not gonna reflect that, okay? I think that I'm pretty, and I think that's all that matters. I don't really care if anyone else thinks I'm pretty, because at the end of the day, you don't have to look me in the mirror. I do. Therefore, that's the only opinion I care about. How that's gonna affect me in relationships will be something I will think about for another time. That's all for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down. Again, that's engagement. And I will see you on Thursday with a new upload. Don't know what it's gonna be right now, but again, baby steps. I'm uploading this video where we're working on being more productive, more organized this week, because I didn't upload last week. But anyway, goodbye.